So I have to admit something. I quit one of the most critically acclaimed video games of all time. And you know what? I don't feel bad about it anymore. For weeks though, I had this weird guilt every time I saw its little icon on my screen. I mean, this thing was on every top 10 games you must playlist, and there are 1,000 video essays singing its praises. It was by all accounts a masterpiece. And yet, I just wasn't having fun. So I stopped. And in doing that, we're discovering what might be the most important rule of gaming. My time is my own. Have you ever felt that? I'm sure you have. The strange feeling of obligation to finish a piece of art. The sense that if you don't love it, the problem isn't the game. It's you. Today we are going to talk about that feeling. But what if I told you that quitting a masterpiece might actually be one of the healthiest things you can do for your love of gaming? So for me, that game was Super Metroid, a title so legendary it pretty much co-founded an entire genre. The Metroidvania. It's a game praised for its incredible atmosphere, its intricate level design, and how much it respects the player. When I started it, I was ready to get in. I wanted to understand why everyone considered it this perfect fusion of gameplay and innovation. And for the first few hours, I was completely captivated. The opening on that empty space station, dropping down into the alien world, that feeling of being totally isolated, it was all there. I could see the genius in its 16-bit DNA. I was exploring, finding secrets, and slowly building up Seima's arsenal. I was totally on board. But then, the magic just started to fade. That sense of wonder was replaced by a feeling of, well, work. I found myself running through the same corridors over and over again, my eyes glued to the map, trying to remember where that one specific door was, that I could now unlock with my new beam. The exploration that felt so organic at first started to feel like a chore. The game's defining feature, its celebrated backtracking, had my own personal roadblock. Now I want to be clear. I get that backtracking is a core pillar of Super Metroid's design. It's not a flaw, it's a feature. The entire gameplay loop is built around going back to the old areas with new abilities, showing how much more powerful you've become. You retrace your steps, but with a new key that opens a new part of the world, making the environment a sprawling, interconnected puzzle. On paper, it's brilliant. It rewards your memory, your attention to detail, and your patience. But for me, in practice, it just felt tedious. I'd get a new power-up, and my first thought wasn't excitement, but a sigh. Okay, I'd think, so where was that one spot from 3 hours ago that this works on? I'd spend 20 minutes trekking across the map, only to find a door, open it, and then get hit with another dead end that needed another ability I didn't have. My forward momentum just held. The joy of discovering was being chipped away by the frustration of wandering around aimlessly. Super Metroid is famous for not holding your hand. It respects you enough to let you figure things out on your own. But there's a fine line between respecting the player and just being absent. For me, it crossed that line. It spent more time staring at my map, feeling lost, and kind of stupid, than I did feeling like a cool bounty hunter. And when a game starts making you feel stupid, it's seriously hard to have fun. It felt like I wasn't playing anymore. So why did I feel so bad about all of this? Why did putting down a game that I wasn't enjoying feel like a personal failure? Well, it turns out there's a real psychological pull at work. Our brains are wired to want to finish what we start, and we are taught from a young age that quitting is a weakness. That feeling gets worse than it's a masterpiece. When something is universally acclaimed, you feel like if you're not getting it, the problem must be you. Then there's the sunk cost fallacy. I'd already invest hours, so quitting would feel like all the time was wasted. It's the same reason people stay in jobs they hate or finishing books they can't stand. We get stuck thinking, I've already invested so much, I have to see it through. Even when the enjoyment is gone, that unfinished game then becomes a nagging, incomplete task, a constant silent reminder of failure. The turning point for me was on a random Tuesday night. I had about an hour of free time before bed. I looked at my console, and the thought of booting up Super Metroid filled me with dread. Not excitement, dread. The idea of another session of aimless backtracking just felt like a second job. And then I asked myself a simple question. Why? Why am I forcing myself to do something I don't want to in my precious limited free time? This hour right here is mine. It's supposed to be for restoration, for joy, and for fun. And that's when it clicked. Quitting wasn't failure. It was a choice. An act of finally giving myself permission to value my own time and my own enjoyment over what critics think, over the legacy of a game, and over my sense of obligation. A game is a contract. You invest time and money, and the game promises to be fun. When it breaks that contract, you are free to walk away. So I stopped playing the game. And the feeling wasn't guilt. It was relief. It was like I had lifted this weight off my shoulders. The ghost of that unfinished task was gone. Was free. What happened next completely changed things for me. I scrolled through my library and picked up a smaller, less acclaimed indie title that just looked fun. And for the next hour, I had a blast. Pure, uncomplicated fun. There was no baggage, no pressure, no feeling that I should be enjoying it. I just was feeling right. This whole experience reframed my relationship with my backlog. It's not a pile of shame anymore. It's a library of possibilities, not a list of obligations. And I'm the curator. I get to decide what's for my time. Life is too short to play games you don't love. With more games available now than ever before, and less free time as we get older, being selective isn't just a good idea. It's great. Look, the point here isn't to bash Super Metroid. It is and always will be a monumental achievement in game design. It's a masterclass in gaming, but it's not my masterpiece. And that's okay. At the end of the day, art is subjective. You're allowed to see a game's greatness while also admitting it's not just for you. Maybe you don't like the core gameplay. Maybe the controls feel sluggish compared to modern games. Maybe, like me, you just don't have the patience for that much backtracking. Whatever your reason is, it's valid. Honestly, thinking this way has brought so much of that fun back into gaming for me. I don't force myself to finish games I'm not enjoying anymore. I just hide them from my library and move on, guilt-free. I've discovered so many incredible games that I probably would have ignored because I was too busy trying to finish the essentials. Your time is the single most valuable thing you have. Don't waste it on things that feels like a chore, especially not your hobbies. They're meant to be a refugee, not another source of stress. So let this be your permission slip. It is okay to quit a masterpiece. It is okay to put down that 100-hour-long RPG after 20 hours if you're not feeling it. It's okay to admit that one of the greatest games of all time just isn't for you. Gaming is not a job. It's a joy. Protect that joy at all costs. So, now I want to turn the question over to you. What's a masterpiece you quit? What's the critically acclaimed universal loved game that you just couldn't get into? Let's share our stories in the comments below. I was David, and bye. Have a nice day.